Okay, class, we are going to review perimeter for today. So we've learned that perimeter means to do what? Bryson? Yes, so if we have a bunch of squares, we're going to count the ones that go around the outside, okay? What else? If they don't give us squares, we're not going to just trace it and count around the outside edges. If they just give us numbers around the shape, like this rectangle, what do we do with all the numbers? Savea? No multiplying on just a basic rectangle like this. You do what again, Javea? Add them all up, okay? So if it's 4 sides, you need to make sure you add up 4 numbers, not just 2, okay? We also learned how to find a missing side when they give you the perimeter, okay? So let's look over those steps. What would I do first to figure out this missing side? These were our notes that we took. So if you took good notes, there should be no reason you can't answer this. And if you can read what's on the board. How would I figure out this missing side? Kaylee, what do I do first?
You can add the sides you know.
Good. Add the sides we know, so it would be 5, 7, 3, 2, 5. I'm going to add those up first. Okay? What would I do next? Bryson?
Subtract from the perimeter.
Subtract that number from the perimeter. So I added up and got 22, and then I needed to subtract that number from my perimeter, which was 28. Okay? Now, a rectangle was special, right? Why was the rectangle special? Brandon?
That it had not more sides.
It didn't necessarily have more sides. Aaliyah?
If a number is on one side, it has to be on the other side.
Very good. So if there's a 5 on this side, it has to be on the other side for a rectangle, okay? It also meant when we're finding the missing side, you had to do one extra step right here. So at the very end, you had to do one extra thing, and that was what, Evangeline?
You had to.
You guys need to pay attention. That wasn't a trick question either. I pointed right to the answer in my spiral. So if you were watching, you saw me point out the answer. What was the one extra step we have to do to find the missing side? These two were the same. We add the sides we know, subtract from the perimeter, but the one extra thing we have to do is what, Kaylee?
Multiply.
Nope, not multiply.
Divide.
Aaliyah?
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2. And we're dividing it by 2 because these 2 are both missing and they're going to be the same number. Okay? Because it's a rectangle. Okay? Now, the only time you would multiply if there's a missing side is if it's like a shape or a square that has all sides equal. Okay? We use 4 for the square for our multiplying because why? Why would I multiply the side number by 4? You should know. Bryson?
Because there's 4 sides.
Because there's 4 sides. So if it had been a pentagon, or let's say a hexagon with 6 sides, and they're all the same. Oh, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. If they were all the same, like the square, would I still multiply by 4?
No.
No, I would do S times what?
6.
6, because there's 6 sides. Okay? All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to look back at this workbook page you guys had to do in class the other day and go over some of these problems before we do a different assignment. Okay, so make sure you're paying attention because you're going to do something on perimeter when we're done going over this. Okay, so number 1, find the unknown side lengths. What would I have to do first? Who can tell me? Kelsey? Add the sides we know. 6 plus 6 is 12. Okay? Step 2. What would I do next? Javea? I can't hear you. Not yet. No dividing yet. Kaylee? Subtract. Good. So I'm going to do the perimeter, which was 28, minus 12, which equals 16. Okay, now what's my last step? Evangeline? Divide. Good. And what am I going to divide by? Everybody.
6.
Oh, I'm going to divide by 6, huh? No. 2? Are we sure?
4.
Are we sure?
Oh my.
What are we going to divide by, class?
2. 6. 4. 6.
If you said 2, stand up. Good job. You were the only 2 correct. Good job. Oh, but as soon as I questioned you guys, you wanted to change your answer. You guys need to be confident and sure of your answer, okay? You should know this. We just went over it, okay? I'm dividing by 2 because there's 2 missing sides. 16 divided by 2 is what? 8. Good. So for number 1, we should have gotten 8. Okay. We divided by 2 because there's 2 missing sides. Okay, number 2. What do I need to do first? Allie? Add the sides we know. 11 plus 11
Equals 22.
is 22. Okay, good. Step 2. Gregory, what do I do next?
Step 2. Step 2. You add. No, 48 minus 22.
Aaliyah?
Subtract.
Subtract the perimeter minus 22. Equals 18. Okay. Now, do I need to do one more thing? It's not a rectangle.
You divide.
Aaliyah, what do you think?
Divide.
We still need to divide by 2 even though this isn't a rectangle because there was 2 missing sides. So I need to take this 18 and split it up between both of these missing numbers. Okay? So 18 divided by 2 is what?
0.
9. 9 for number 2. That wouldn't even make sense. How would 0 plus 0 plus 11 plus 11 equal 40? It has to make sense. And why would the length of something be 0? There would be no line there if this equaled 0. You have to use your common sense a little bit. Right? Number 3. Mitch needs to replace the fence in his backyard. The diagram, which they're talking about this right here, shows the lengths of the borders of the fence. The length of the fence is 62 meters. What is the unknown side length? explain how you will solve the problem. Then write an equation to solve. Okay? So explain what I would do first. These were the notes that we took in our notebook, right? If there's a missing side, what do we do first? Kaylee? Good. First, add sides we know. So my equation for that, I would do 12 plus 14 plus 5 plus 5 plus 7. Plus x equals the perimeter, which they said was 62. So we would add up all of these numbers that we know. Did anybody get their answer for that? What's 12 plus 14? Can y'all do that in your head? 20, what? What's 4 plus 2? 6. 26, okay. And what's 5 plus 5? 10. So 26 plus 10? 36. 36 plus 7? 43. Okay, so all of these numbers added up equal 43. Okay, so what would I do next? 62 is the total, the perimeter. Because if you add up x with it too, it will equal the perimeter. We don't know what x is yet. Okay, so 43 is the sides we know. What would we do next? What's the second step? After we add the sides we know, what do we do, Evangeline? Subtract from what? The perimeter. Okay. Is that it? Is that all we do? Kaylee? Nope. What would we multiply? No. Why would we divide? There's just one missing side. Do we divide if there's one missing side? No. So, is there anything else we need to do? No, we're done. Okay, but we still need to find the unknown side length. So we need to go ahead and do the second step. Subtract from the perimeter. So we would do 62, which was our perimeter, minus the sides we added up, which was 43. Okay, can I do 2 minus 3, Gregory?
Yeah. No.
No. So I need to borrow. 6 becomes what?
7. 5.
Who said 7? Angeline?
No, I didn't say
Come
7.
on, y'all.
I mean, I heard someone say 7 and I thought it was 7. Well, you said
You said 7.
I didn't.
Okay, it becomes a 5. 2 becomes
12.
12. Okay, 12 minus 3?
Yeah.
9. 5 minus 4? 1. So 19 meters was your missing side length.
What would that equal? 62.
Yeah, so if we put 19 into our equation for x, it should add up to 62.
So, you punch the x and put
Okay, and I didn't really like this question because that's confusing, using this shape and then having to change it to a rectangle. I'm not going to go over, because what you would have to do is, this would end up being 12. This would end up being what over here? This would be 12 too, okay? So that's hard for you guys to picture because it's broken up right here like that. So we would have to say 12 plus 12, and then we don't know these two. Okay, so the steps would change a little bit. What would be that one extra step you would have to do since there's now 2 missing sides? Divide. Good. All right, let's go on. Number 5. Nagi has a mirror in the shape of a hexagon. He puts a frame around it that has a perimeter of 42 inches. How long is each side? Okay. So we need to assume that all sides are what?
All sides are the same.
The same, okay? And how many sides are there? 6. So we should do S times 6 to equal 42. So what number times 6 will give me 42? If we don't know, what do we have to do?
We have
Kelsey? You have to use some type of strategy, right? I could count by 6s.
Or skip count.
Skip count? Okay, let's try that. 6, 12. What would come next? 18.
24.
30.
36.
42, okay. Now I'm going to count how many times I skipped by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 skips. So my answer would be what?
7.
A, 7 inches. Okay, so see how when the sides are the same, it becomes a multiplication problem. The number we multiply by is however many sides there are. There were 6 sides, so we needed to multiply by 6. Okay, number 6. Zena has a square picture frame with a perimeter of 28 inches. Which equation can she use to find the length of each side? Okay, so it's a square. Brandon, what's special about a square?
That has 4 sides.
That makes it special, that it has 4 sides? No. What is special about a square? What about the sides, Brandon?
They're all equal.
They're all equal. So I would have S, 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 because they're all going to be the same number on each side. Okay? So which equation would I use to find the length of each side? Evangeline?
S times 4.
Good. S times 4 equals what?
4 equals
28, because the perimeter is 28. Okay? So which answer choice matches what we have? Aaliyah? A. Good. Because we know if we flip them around, it still means the same thing. Okay, we're almost done. Is it getting a little bit easier?
No, not at all.
Kelsey? Number 7. Farmer is putting a new fence around a section of his ranch. The fence is 35 kilometers long. What is the length of the unknown side? What do all these problems seem to be talking about? Evangeline? Well, perimeter, but what in the word problem, what do they always use as the example for perimeter? Allie? What do they always use in the word problems? They talk about fencing. They talk about border. They talk about a frame. They talked about picture frames on both of these. They talked about fencing on this one. It's important that you recognize those similarities because that's going to help you know it's talking about what? Perimeter. Did somebody say that? So if you hear border, frames, fencing, you should think of what? Perimeter. Okay? Okay, who can tell me what I do first on this problem? Actually, I'm going to pick Javea. Very good. We're going to add all the numbers we know. Okay? So step 1, we're going to add 5, 8, 7, and 9. Okay, what's 5 plus 8?
12, 13.
13 plus 7. 20 plus 9. 29. Okay. Step 2. I still don't know the unknown side. This doesn't tell me this missing side. That just told me all of these added up. Okay. So how am I going to find the missing side now? Kaylee? Subtract. What am I going to subtract, Aaliyah? Good. The perimeter, which was 35, minus 29. 15 minus 9 is 6, and 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay? Am I done?
No. Yes. Yes.
Yes. If there's only one missing side, then that's all you do. 2 steps. Okay? So A was correct.
Yeah. Yay.
If there's only one missing side, there's only 2 steps. Okay, number 8. Glenda puts a border of wallpaper around her room, or bedroom wall. The room is a rectangle with side lengths of 3 meters and 4 meters. If she has 20 meters of wallpaper, how much wallpaper is left over? Ooh, did we hear a keyword in there?
Yes.
What word did you hear, Kelsey? Wallpaper? Why is that a keyword?
I thought that was the word that you said when you were saying these things.
No. Aaliyah?
Leftover.
Leftover. When I hear that, I should be thinking of what? Evangeline? Subtraction. Good. So I'm going to just put a little minus sign there. So I know I need to do some type of subtracting. Okay? Well, what did we have to do first in this problem? The room is a rectangle. So maybe I should draw a picture of the room being a rectangle. Okay? And it said it has lengths of 3 and 4. So I'm just going to put 3 and 4. But if this is 3, what does that mean about this side?
It's 3.
3 also. If this is 4, then I know the bottom is 4.
So you would add.
So I'm going to add all those up. Good. I need to find the perimeter, right?
Yeah.
Brandon? I need to figure out how much border. So that means I need to add all the sides. What's 4 plus 4?
8.
8 plus 6?
16.
14. Okay, so the perimeter is 14. If she has 20 meters of wallpaper, how much wallpaper is left over? So what do I do next, Kelsey? Good. I'm going to subtract the 20 minus the 14. What should that give me, Brandon? 20 minus 14. That should be mental math.
20 minus 20.
What is it, Aaliyah? 6. You need to pay attention. Brandon. B is 6. So 8 would be B. All right. We're going to try number 9 on our own. Okay? Because I don't think you guys got to this one in class. So go ahead and try this on your own. Those of you at home, I know you've already submitted this. So just check back in a second to see what the final answer is to make sure you are on the right track. This one was a little bit tricky because it's talking about a tablecloth, but it's not a typical tablecloth that you would use that is just 4 sides. This tablecloth had how many sides? 8 sides. So let's read the whole problem and see what we need to do first. Jorge sews a trim around the edge of a tablecloth with 8 sides. He has 32 feet of trim. If each side of a tablecloth is 2 feet long, how much trim will Jorge have left? Did you hear a key word in there?
Yes.
What was it, Evangeline?
Left.
Left. And what does that mean, Kelsey?
It means that
Pay attention. Don't look at me. Left means to what?
left means to either add, subtract.
What do you think, Bryson?
Subtract.
Subtract. So I know one thing I need to do is subtract. Okay, but first I need to find how much trim Jorge is using for the tablecloth with 8 sides. So 8 sides would be an octagon, right? A stop sign. So if it helps to draw a picture, you can. And each side should be labeled what? 2. Good. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So that means he needs 16 feet of ribbon for the tablecloth. But the problem didn't ask us how many feet does he need. It asked us how much trim will he have left. Okay, so what's the second thing I need to do? Kaylee?
Subtract.
Good. Subtract. What am I going to subtract?
32 minus 16.
Good. 32 minus 16. 2 minus 6. It's bigger on bottom, so I need to do what?
Borrow.
Borrow. 3 becomes 2. 2 becomes 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1.
16.
Okay? So even if we would have stopped at the first step, we still would have got it right. Because they're both 16. Okay. Now what you're going to do for some practice on your own, you're going to get these task cards back that you did for area, and we're going to just do certain numbers to practice some perimeter. For bonus, I want you guys to try number 14 and 20, okay? So I will write the task card numbers that you need to do out on the board. You guys need to have a sheet of notebook paper to show your work. So I'm going to let Javea pass that out in a second. And I will write down the card numbers you're going to do, because we're not going to do all of these. Some of these we've already done, okay? So we're going to practice perimeter, and there's a couple bonus ones I will give you too for some bonus points, okay? Any questions before we go on to our assignment?
No.
Okay.